योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तान् सञ्जीवयत किल शक्तिधरा स्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणात् त्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। कथाञ्चन स्मृते यस्मिन् दुष्करं सुकरं भवेत् विस्मृते विपरीतं स्यात् श्रीचैतन्यं नमामि तं। Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. So those online, you can hear me? Yeah. So last time we discussed about a concept called heart space.
Home space.
Home space, heart space. Same thing. Today we will continue our discussion from Srimad-Bhagavatam. We are on the 14th, we completed the 15th verse, the 5th chapter of the first canto. So we will chant that 15th verse again. Is that okay? So although it was discussed last time briefly, we will again discuss that verse. You can please repeat after me. First canto, 5th chapter, text number 15. Jai Prabhu, I know. हमारे मेरा योगा टीचर है, गुरु है.
He and his they both are.
Where is his boy?
With the child.
Oh, okay.
The dance program.
Oh, okay. You said she's here, so मैं बोला कहाँ है?
She's waiting.
Oh, no problem.
The child.
Yes.
Coming.
Thank you, Jai Prabhu. 2007 में पहली बार ना आप योगा सिखाए थे हम लोग को 15 साल पहले.
He told me that.
Yeah, जय प्रभु को मैं अच्छे से जानता हूँ. Thank you, Prabhu. So we will continue. First canto, 5th chapter, text number 15. तो इसका background ये है. So just to recap, Vyasadeva is being instructed by his guru, Narad Muni. And Narad Muni is telling him that you should glorify Krishna. That is the secret of happiness. ऐसा घुमा फिरा के indirect नहीं, directly come to the point. Krishna is our USP, unique selling proposition, marketing में होता है. Krishna is our trump card. Krishna is everything for us. And why we should hesitate? Just glorify Krishna, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's qualities, and Krishna's pure devotees, and you will be happy. वो जो vacuum है, जो incompleteness है, वो पूरा निकल जाए. तो this point को emphasize करने के लिए, to make it very, very strong, he is giving instructions. And we are coming to the end of these instructions, and then he will tell a case study. Because in this world, you all like to hear case studies, example. Before he gives the example, he is giving again philosophical point, which we will try to complete today. So text number 15 of the 5th chapter of first canto. Let us see what Narad Muni is saying. We have already discussed it last time. We'll again recap. Please repeat. Jugupsitam dharma krite nushashata swabhava raktasya mahan vyatikrama yadvakyato dharma iti tarastito na manyate tasya nivaranam jana. Madan Mohan Prabhu, you can read the translation.
People in general are naturally inclined to enjoy, and you have encouraged them in that way in the name of religion. This is verily condemned and is quite unreasonable. Because they are guided under your instructions, they will accept such activities in the name of religion and will hardly care for religion.
So Narad Muni is telling him, Swabhava raktasya. स्वभाव से people want to enjoy sense gratification. और आपका अभी क्या करेंगे? पहले वो कर ही रहे थे, और अभी आपका स्टेटमेंट लेके बोलेंगे देखो वेदव्यास ने दिया है धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष, तो हम अभी वही करेंगे. यद वाक्य तो धर्म इति तरस्थितो. They will take your vakya and they will justify what they want to do. And the worst part is na manyate tasya nivaranam jana. They will not think there is anything higher than this. India is suffering from karma kanda. Hinduism, everybody is into karma kanda. I should do something to get something. This is the mood. And this is coming from Narad Muni saying because of your not focusing on exclusive devotional service. So we discussed this last time briefly, that Narad Muni is not questioning Vyasadev's intention The intention को क्वेश्चन नहीं कर रहे, उनका स्ट्रैटेजी को क्वेश्चन कर रहे. So now he's saying, and we discussed the third para of the purport also, where Prabhupada gives very good analogy. So Narad Muni basically saying, don't compromise. और जुगुप्सितम बोला, पहला वर्ड जो है श्लोका में जुगुप्सितम मतलब कंडेम्ड. आपने जो भी लिखा है सब धिक्कार है आपके ऊपर. मतलब इतना बुक्स लिखने के बाद, मैंने तो केवल 4 बुक्स लिखा है और मुझे हमेशा मैं बुक को देखता रहता हूँ, अच्छा लगता है, कोई अप्रिशिएट करता है तो. पर जिसने इतना सारा बुक्स लिखा है और इतना नॉलेज दिया है, और उसको अगर उनके गुरु बोल रहे हैं आपने जो भी लिखा है सब जुगुप्सितम, हाउ विल ही फील? बट he understanding the mood in which Narad Muni is emphasizing. Glorify Krishna. And now he tells him something very interesting. Don't compromise. This is text number 16. Very beautiful verse. Please read after me. Repeat after me. Everybody has access to the verse? Okay. Vichakshanosya veditam vibhor anantaparasya nivrittitaya sukham pravartamanasya guneranatmana tato bhavan darshaya cheshtitam vibho.
Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality, retired from the activities of material happiness, deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual value. Therefore, those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the way of transcendental realization. By your goodness, is a description of transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord.
So here Narad Muni is saying, Vyasdev, become expert. You are expert. Expert matlab user. Basically, expertly and intelligently you present Krishna consciousness. Krishna को glorify करना है, but you have to be intelligent and expert. मतलब if you directly कोई नया नया आया है, Hare Krishna, only if you tell Krishna, he may just get. You have to first tell him what is there for him. You have to make a bridge. He is in one island, you are in another island. Krishna island, he is in material island. So उनको लाने के लिए you have to make a bridge. But sometimes what happens, some of us, we make a bridge and we stuck in the bridge only. We don't get them here. And some of us are here only, we don't make a bridge only. So we have to get people to Krishna. And we have to be sensitive. Basically, we should understand as devotees, in ISKCON there is teamwork. Some devotees directly glorify Krishna. See, you can't say Narad Muni is saying directly glorify Krishna to Vyasdev. That means every preacher should only glorify Krishna. See, there is a teamwork. Every preacher cannot do that. And it is good also. So I personally think that we should trust devotees who are preaching that they love Krishna and they may not be glorifying Krishna. उनके लिए बहुत बड़ा वो sacrifice भी होता है बहुत लोगों. I know some devotees, they love Krishna. They are doing so much deity worship. But they have branded themselves as a preacher who doesn't glorify Krishna directly. And there's a whole strategy and how people are becoming devotees. I know examples. So we have to trust them. But that doesn't mean we should also be like that. Everybody has some role to play. It's a teamwork. And I've seen that devotees, we have to glorify Krishna. Like, let's see what Prabhupada says in the second para of this purport. You can read that. Expert devotees can also discover from there. You can see second paragraph. In the second paragraph, there is a sentence which begins with, the expert devotees can also discover novel ways.
Devotional service is dynamic activity.
उसके पहला वाला sentence.
The expert devotees.
Everybody has access to read this?
Yes.
Okay, start.
The expert devotees also can discover novel ways and means to convert the non-devotees in terms of particular time and circumstance. Devotional service is a dynamic activity, and the expert devotees can find out competent means to inject it into the dull brains of materialist population. Such transcendental activities of the devotees for the service of the Lord can bring a new order of life to the foolish society of materialist life. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his subsequent followers exhibited expert activity in this connection. By following the same method, one can bring the materialist men of this age of quarrel and to order for peaceful life and transcendental.
See, this is one of my favorite purports. Very, very clear. Prabhupada is saying, devotees have to discover novel ways, innovative bano, novel ways to convert the non-devotees. और क्या प्रॉपर लिख रहे हैं in terms of particular time, place and circumstance. देश काला पात्र देखकर कैसे उनको भगवान के पास लाना है, आप दिमाग लगाओ और उनको लेके आओ. Prabhupada says devotional service is dynamic activity and expert devotees have to find competent means to inject it into the dull head of the people. लोग dull हैं कलयुग में, तो उनको लाने के लिए and they're materialistic, तो innovative ways करना पड़ेगा. And because of that, and this will bring a new order of life. And I'm seeing this live. Like, for example, I see one such doctor who's injecting very nicely Gaur Gopal Prabhu. I'm seeing what he's doing because he's my neighbor. We take prasad together many times. And I'm seeing what he's doing and I'm seeing the results. And I travel also. I've traveled to Europe. I've traveled to Australia. I've traveled to England. Now this year, Krishna willing, I'll be going to US also in another few days. So I know people have been influenced everywhere by him. And he is one such doctor. See, he's a doctor who is giving the sweet. तो पेशेंट अभी बच्चे सब पेशेंट बच्चे अभी उनको इंजेक्शन देखेगा तो भाग जाएंगे. हम लोग पीछे खड़े हैं इंजेक्शन के साथ. We are standing behind with injection. We are standing behind Gaur Gopal Prabhu. But if he is also taking injection, they will not come. So he is giving them laddu, cake, and they are happy. People, Prabhupada said, eating, sleeping, mating, defending his animal life. Have you heard this? Ahara, nidra, insan bano. But I go to program, I see people eating, sleeping, mating, defending is also messed up. So I tell them, do proper eating, proper sleeping, proper mating, proper. उसमें ही गड़बड़ है. तो वो एक बार proper हो गया ना, then they become human, and then you can tell them to practice Krishna consciousness. So, and I'm seeing how he is helping people and he's giving them spiritual substance also. And because I'm traveling, I'm seeing the influence. So I tell him many times, Prabhu, you are a doctor with sweet and I'm a doctor with injection. But it is teamwork. Like I am preaching in Borivali for last many years, since 2004. So in my program, at least there are 15 people now, out of 150 people, at least 15 log aise hain. Those are 16 rounders, they read Bhagavatam every day. But they came to ISKCON only because they wanted to know ये ISKCON क्या है. हम गौर गोपाल दास जी का सुनते रहते हैं, कौन है, क्या है, उनके बारे में जान. So they came looking for him and when they came to know, our preachers are very smart. They told him ये गौर गोपाल दास के अच्छे दोस्त, इनके लेक्चर में आओ. तो जबरदस्ती they came starry-eyed, not because they wanted to hear from me, oh, Gaur Gopal. And then now the Rupesh Chandekar Prabhu, Marathi, he reads Bhagavatam every day. He had no desire. He was like any other normal person in the society who had no idea about Krishna consciousness. But because he heard his classes repeatedly and he got inspired, then he saw his saffron pillar. I want to meet him or hear from him more. Who are these people? What is this? What do they represent? And then he searched on internet, came to know it is ISKCON. ISKCON kya hai? ISKCON ka mandir kahan hai? So then he came to Borivali. And there, so what I'm saying is, these things cannot be measured. You cannot get quantifiable results. But there are people like that who have become devotees. So he's doing his role. So when Prabhupada is saying, use your novel ways, intelligent ways. Like Vivek Bindra ka interview tha a few months back. I saw that. And Vivek Bindra interview, very clearly Prabhupada is saying, I do meditation, I chant Hare Krishna. So he's making people devotees, but when they become devotees, they don't read, I've seen devotees, they want direct Krishna Katha. So then they appreciate Gaur Gopal Prabhu, but then they hear Amarendra Prabhu and other Amog Lila Prabhu, they hear Krishna Katha. But they understand what he is doing. So there are doctors, there are with different strategy. Like I know one person, he was about to commit suicide. He had actually written a suicide note. He was all set to commit suicide. And then he heard one very inspiring short talk of Gaur Gopal Prabhu. And today he's not only a 16-rounder, he's the president of the KC SOC. KC SOC is Krishna Conscious Society. There are many KC SOC societies in England, in colleges. He is the president of that KC SOC. And he was about to commit suicide. Now he's a 16-rounder devotee. So He may not have spoken about Krishna, but look at the influence. Like when I was in Bhaktivinoda Manor, London last week, 10 days I was there. And one devotee used to get me prasad every day. British. I asked him how you became devotee. And I was shocked by his story. He is Swiss and British. Mother is Switzerland, father is British. He says, I was an atheist. I had no interest in, forget Hinduism. I don't even know what is my religion. I have no interest in religion at all. I have nothing to do with religion. And one day I saw this video of Gaur Gopal. And I liked it. And I saw more. Then I felt I want to know more about him. The first in the internet, I found out he's an IT professional working in Zurich. And those of you, and Zurich, I've gone to Zurich temple. When you enter the temple, all notice board is in Tamil. It is all Tamil. It's written in Tamil there. I was also surprised. And then there was one Tamil devotee with me. I told him, "Kya likha hai?" Bolta, "Mujhe bhi pata nahi." Tamil mein likha hai na? He said, "Nahi, hamara Tamil nahi." Then I found out it is Sri Lankan Tamil. The script is Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka ke refugees bahut saal pehle aaye the, whatever it is. So this man who has no idea about religion, no idea about spirituality, simply seeing Gaur Gopal Prabhu's videos and then doing some research on internet, he comes to Zurich temple and he finds out, he says, who is Gaur Gopal? What is Gaur Gopal? They say, we'll tell you. And then they told him books, lectures. He started hearing, reading. And 2019, okay? And today, last 2 years, he is a brahmachari there serving. He knows all Krishna conscious philosophy, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Gita, gives lectures. मेरे से पूरा 2 घंटा बैठ के he studied how to give lectures, how to prepare notes, वो सब पूरा discuss कर रहे थे हम लोग. Hardcore Vaishnava with tilakdhari, 16-rounder devotee staying in the temple, doing DT seva, everything. Pakka devotee. And he says, and it's always like this, Hare Krishna Prabhuji serving, minimum, yaar ye kaisa transformation ho gaya? Once I was traveling from Munich to Zurich in the bus, 4-hour drive. I was in the double decker, upar baitha tha. And then some German couple came. Do you know Gaur Gopal Das? I said, I'm his neighbor. I stay with him. They were like, oh, they couldn't believe. What is the probability that out of billions of people, you meet someone who is so close friend? But then I knew that they may not believe me. I was show off karna tha. So I took my mobile and showed him all the WhatsApp chat and his DP. So all that. Then they were like, wow. And then after they went, and there were some Indian people sitting and watching this discussion. So after this couple went and sat, so this Indian group came. 5-6 log the. Hindi? I said, Hindi mein baat karte hain. Then they said, आप Gaur Gopal को जानते हैं? तो मैंने कहा आप भी जानते हैं? अरे हम तो उनके बहुत बड़े फैन हैं. तो आप भी वैसे, because I was in saffron, क्योंकि Europe में it is not a problem. You don't have to go in pant shirt. So I was in saffron, dhoti, kurta, and I was. So they saw me. They said, आप भी वैसे ही है? मतलब आप भी ऐसा करते हैं? तो मैंने कहा हमारे में दोनों में बहुत बड़ा अंतर है. मतलब क्या अंतर है? मैंने कहा हम भीड़ का हिस्सा है, वो भीड़ की वजह है. So they laughed. So the German couple were watching and they were wondering, they couldn't understand what is happening. So the point is, there are people who are getting influenced. So this boy in the manor, his name is Roman. He's a British Swiss boy who had no interest in spiritual life. He's a 1600 devotee. Now he wants to visit Vrindavan, Mayapur. Isn't this an amazing example? So sometimes, Puritans and hardcore devotees, they protest that, why everybody should glorify Krishna. See, the principle you have to understand. It is a teamwork. Some people do not do it. Some people do it. Now, if he starts, let's say Gaur Gopal will start directly speaking Krishna Katha. If somebody like this boy comes on the internet and he sees the first thing is, he may get withdrawn. But now he has become devotee. I asked him, do you still hear his classes? He said, yeah, sometimes I hear, but now I hear other devotees' classes. Because he's got taste. But that doesn't mean Gaur Gopal is not giving. See, Krishna has to be seen. See, we have to see Krishna in everything. So he's influenced people. So this is a classic example of how Gaur Gopal Prabhu is also doing Krishna Katha. So this boy, when I saw him, and I came and told this story to everyone. Radha Gopinath Prabhu, sabko bataya. Main sabko bata raha hu this story because like this, there are many people all over the world. So the point I'm saying is, we as devotees should know that it's a teamwork. And I tell Gaur Gopal many times that you are following the exact what Prabhupada is writing in the purport. Devotees should discover. Novel means to inject Krishna consciousness into the dull heads of the materialistic population. The exact statement what Prabhupada is writing. Prabhupada says followers exhibited expert dexterity in this connection. Krishna consciousness hi dena hai. Like, when I came back from London, Gaurav Prabhupada was doing Dhruv Maharaj Katha in one very industrialist house. Pure Dhruv Maharaj Katha, but the audience was all Parsis, all big doctors and all of them. They had no idea about Hinduism. And he spoke Dhruv Maharaj Bhagavatam verses, but relatable with modern life. Like Dhruv Maharaj going to forest, so he connected with their sons going to Harvard or Stanford to study and how mother deals with it. So relating it to their life and also giving them pure Bhagavatam fourth canto. So then, and I also know, he also knows, we can't upload it on the YouTube right now because somebody is new like this boy, Roman. He may get pulled away. He may say it is religious. But there is a strategy. We are all working as a team. So like that, we have to understand there are many examples. See, it's like, if a doctor is giving sweet, children are attracted, they come, and the doctor suddenly takes an injection, all the children will run away. So so to keep them alert, he gives them only sweet. And somehow he is able to get the message across. And today we have many people who are chanting and hearing. At least I know many people like that in my own preaching program. And there are some celebrities also. But then what happens is we like to encash. So we want him to put it on the social media or photo to get proof. But why? We have to trust. That's what I'm saying. In Krishna consciousness, we have to trust devotees, their intention, their mood. Srila Prabhupada also, when he was preaching in America, he started Sanskrit classes at one time in New York. See, there are so much we can discuss about Prabhupada's preaching initially. And then he kept Gulab Jamun box out in his 22nd Avenue. Bada Gulab Jamun ka box rakhte. So when devotees, after some time, they used to get bored and they wanted to leave. And Prabhupada had said, anytime anybody wants to eat as many Gulab Jamun, you can eat from there. And Prabhupada was expert cook. And Prabhupada said, these Gulab Jamuns are ISKCON bullets. So then these devotees, when they would get bored or they would want to leave Krishna consciousness, they would go near the door, they would see this Gulab Jamun box, they would take Gulab Jamun and they would eat and they would say, chalo ruk jate aur. So Prabhupada said, ours is a kitchen religion. So he gave them prasad. He attracted them novel ways. He injected it into their heads in that way. He gave them Krishna. So once he was, if you see the initial days, I've heard his initial classes, 1966, before he established ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada used to record his classes. He's speaking about Indian culture, why women have hair like this in India, why Brahmins wear sacred thread. You will see a lot of cultural things Prabhupada is speaking in those classes. Trying to somehow get them. So our preachers have to use intelligence. And someone is not giving direct Krishna. See, we have to glorify Krishna in principle. And if somebody is not giving direct Krishna Katha, we have to understand that is also Krishna Katha only, because he's speaking universal principles. He's speaking universal principles. And some people will speak direct, some will speak indirect. And overall, we are helping in the spiritual journey of the soul. See, our agenda is clear. Agenda is, people are driven by fear, insecurity, enjoying, they are rushing, they are living a very materialistic life. So to help them love Krishna, we have to give them some experience, some motivation. So many people get this experience and they actually develop attraction for Krishna. Like I know one example. I'll tell you this story. This also happened. Recently I was in East London. Now this is also a very inspiring story for me, because in this place, I saw that I had to stay in one house for 6 hours, because then there was a program in the evening. So morning I gave class somewhere, then I had to stay in their house for 6 hours. So this Prabhuji said, Prabhuji, can you talk to my son? He's 9-year-old. Can you encourage him? I said, okay, call him. No, Prabhuji, abhi to wo hospital gaya, wo baad mein aayega, baad mein baat kare. Baad mein. Then when he came, I was busy. Then when I again went to him, he had gone to some other doctor. So I said, okay, then when can I talk to him? And then when I was talking to the family, the parents, constantly, Prabhuji, whatever we are is because of association of devotees. Devotees are so nice. Devotees are so good. At least 25 to 30 times they must have said association. So I was very impressed. Kitna wo log value karte hai association. Bachcha 9 saal ka hai. So finally the child came. In the evening I spoke to him. 9-year-old boy. He gives lectures on Srimad-Bhagavatam. I was like, what? And I thought, what is your favorite topic? on lecture? Creation. Creation is most technical, most complicated, most difficult. Fifth kind of creation ko par lecture deta hai. And then I tested him. I heard, I understood he knows it very well. Then Govardhan pastime, this pastime, I heard from him. And then he's reading Ramayana. और उसने 2 रामायण दिखा इंग्लिश का, उसमें गलती दिखाया. बोला प्रभु जी अभी मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? I will only write Ramayana. He's writing Ramayana now. 9-year-old boy, so much devotional service. So then in the evening, I went for the program. So this devotee was driving me, was taking me everywhere. So in the car, I told him, what a family, what a boy. And then he said, Prabhuji, आपको real story पता है क्या? Why they are glorifying devotees so much? I said, why? So then he took the car on the side because he knew that वो impact ऐसा होगा मेरे ऊपर. कार को साइड में रोका, बोला प्रभु, this family, this boy, 9-year-old boy, he is suffering last 2 years from blood cancer. He can, he may not live. And parents have taken complete shelter of Krishna. And the whole community has come together and they're giving them support, emotional support. That is why they're always glorifying and appreciating devotees. So when I saw all of this, I'm seeing how powerful Krishna Katha, Krishna consciousness is, especially when we see death, the sword of death above our heads, when we see the reality of this world. So it is very sobering. And that because of that, I feel anybody who's spreading any goodness on this planet, we have to see them as, doing something on Krishna consciousness only. Although Narad Muni is directly telling Vyasdev that you directly glorify Krishna. And we should do that. But if somebody is not doing that, we need to trust that person. And we need to also play our role. Because once a person experiences happiness or he feels safe, he feels a sense of belonging, then he will practice Krishna consciousness. See, most of us are driven by scarcity mindset. If somebody is driven by a feeling of abundance, somebody is feeling peaceful and happy, then he will definitely practice. So what the main point is, can we help them experience that love in the heart? See, love is a very powerful factor. All of you agree? And when love is involved, then everything else goes in the background. Similarly, when there is love in spiritual practices, when people experience that they feel loved, then they will do everything. Like I know one astrologer, very excellent astrologer. He tells everybody, अच्छा इससे शादी नहीं करने का, ये matching नहीं है, compatibility नहीं है, ये है. He's very pakka astrologer, very good devotee. But he himself got married love marriage, and astrologically totally incompatible. So then I understood why. Love. When there is love, and he's convinced about astrology. So the point I'm saying is, when love is involved, everything pales into insignificance, right? Similarly, there are many people in this world who are following religion, but they're motivated by fear, insecurity, scarcity mindset. But when Bhagavatam is giving us love, and if devotees are speaking and they're giving us Krishna Katha, then when that is the force, then you will see that things get settled. People get attracted to Krishna. So our hope is, as preachers of Hare Krishna, our hope is, our job is to give hope to people, not scare them. See, we are like postmen. And people are like that, old in the olden time. I seen in a village, I've grown up in a village. My grandmother could not read. So, the postman would come. As a small boy, I remember, he would also read the letter. And he used to read, and he should read in such a way that the person hearing would get hope. So we are postmen, and when he if there's an illiterate woman, her husband has gone far away, and this postman is reading the letter, he will read the letter in such a way that she feels loved by her husband who has written that letter from far. So as preachers, as students of Bhagavatam, our job, we should know that we are the postman. And people whom we are preaching to, they are like that illiterate young woman who's excited about her husband who has gone far away, and we have to tell her about Krishna, the real husband. So how we will present Krishna is very important. That is how we have to present Srimad-Bhagavatam message, and so then they're not fearful, they get hope. Sometimes even as devotees, we sometimes become very fanatic. We may have Krishna direct Katha, but we may take people away from Krishna. That is also possible. Like, we had one devotee, used to announce in the morning after Mangalarati, we have Shikshashtakam prayers. Used to announce. We have this announcement. Today we have the special guest in our temple morning program. Let us welcome them in our traditional style by loudly chanting Hari Bol. So that person feels welcomed. अरे इतना प्यार से. तो एक दिन एक दूसरा devotee ने announcement किया. तो वो थोड़ा manager है वो. तो फिर today we have special guest. Let us welcome him in a traditional style by loudly chanting Hari Bol. Hari. तो हम लोग पीछे बैठ के बोले, let us see what is he saying. Is he saying let us threaten him by loudly chanting? उसको धमकी दे रहा है ऐसा लग रहा था. तो उसका intention अच्छा था, but what I'm saying is the how we present, it makes a difference. So it is not simply you could directly glorify Krishna. We have to understand that love has to reign supreme. There has to be love. There has to be kindness. So now Vyasdev will have a doubt. After hearing all of these instructions by Narad Muni, Vyasdev may have a doubt that, like many devotees have this doubt. Okay, I'll practice bhakti, I'll glorify Krishna. But they have this doubt that, they have this fear that, what if I leave Krishna consciousness? ऐसा भी होता है ना, कभी-कभी fear आता है. So Narad Muni, in the next 3 verses, is going to reassure Vyasdev that once if you have sincerely practiced Krishna consciousness for some days, you will never leave bhakti. Even if you live externally, आप वापस आ ही जाओगे. वो कृष्णा आपको पकड़ के लाएंगे. Krishna is always with you. वो एक बार टेस्ट लग गया ना, that is what now is going to. वो क्या गाना है ना, तू जहां जहां चलेगा तेरा साया साथ होगा. तो भगवान जो है वो आपके साथ ही रहेंगे. He will not leave you. So that is what in the next 3 verses are some of the most hope-giving verses in Bhagavatam. Even if you can't memorize all verses, even if you can't read Bhagavatam all the time, but these 3 verses, 1, 5, 17, 18, and 19 are very, very shelter-giving and hope-giving. So we will start that now, and we have to approach these 3 shlokas with lot of reverence and gratitude and hope. Krishna is so nice. This is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. In our religion, our path, God does not leave us. In many paths, if you don't follow the God, you are eternally in hell. In our path, even if you do wrong, God will be there in your heart and He will be there with you till you turn to Him. This is very, very hope-giving. So we should take strength in these verses and see how magnanimous Krishna is, how wonderful Krishna is. So please repeat after me, text number 17 of the 5th chapter. Okay, everybody has access to the verse? Okay, please repeat. Tektva swadharmam charanambujam hare bhajan napakvo tapate tato yadi yatra kvava bhadrama bhudamushyakim को वार्ता आप तो भजताम स्वधर्मता.
One has forsaken his material occupation to engage in the devotional service of the Lord may sometimes fall down by the immature stage. Yet there is no danger of his being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee who fully engaged in occupational duties does not gain anything.
So he is saying भजन अपक्वता, अपक्व भक्ति, अगर पूरा भजन अच्छे से नहीं किया है और उसके जैसे पतन हो गया, but still there is no loss because he will come back. Bhagavad Gita also, 2nd chapter, 40th verse, Krishna says, Neya vikrama nashosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. थोड़ा भी स्वल्पा भी किया आपने भक्ति, Krishna says I will protect. एक बार ऑस्ट्रेलिया में एक आदमी ने प्रभुपाद को मेलबर्न में चैलेंज किया. चैलेंज प्रभुपाद दैट आई कम वंस इन अ व्हाइल टू टेंपल, will I get benefit of Krishna consciousness? I am not sincere. So generally what we will tell him, no, you should come every day. That is our job. We should tell him that. But you know what? Prabhupada gave a very interesting answer. Prabhupada said, if you give $1, if you put $1 in the bank, and then after some days again you put $1, like that once in a while you keep putting, what will happen? One day you will become a millionaire, Prabhupada said. So it is an investment. So nothing goes waste. Of course, as preachers, we should push people. Ours is a pushing movement. And that is nice. But we should know that in bhakti, there is always auspiciousness. Kleshagni Shubhada. Shubhada is one of the symptoms of bhakti. Auspiciousness आता है when there is chanting. आपको लगता होगा experience, देखो आप बाहर रहते हो. When you come to temple and feel the temple energy, the Guru Puja, you feel different, right? What is that energy? That is auspiciousness. That is spiritual. And that is what Narad Muni is saying, that there is no loss. 6th chapter also, 40th verse, Krishna tells Arjuna, Parthaneva na mutra vinashastasya vidate nahi kalyana kafchit durgatim tata gacchati. एक बार किसी ने अच्छा काम किया भक्ति में, कभी उसका लॉस नहीं. So Krishna is repeatedly giving this. It will never be a waste. Like this famous story of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj, he gave up his entire kingdom to practice devotional service. But there he got attached to a deer. He was the emperor of the planet. And he could give up the kingdom. Bhagavatam says he gave up the kingdom like a person after passing stool, after going to the toilet. None of us look at the toilet, what we have done, with great joy or great pain. Or I've given this up. Nobody looks like that at the toilet. So it is said that Bharat Maharaj is the emperor of the planet. Bhagavatam says he gave up all the wealth and opulence as if somebody has done toilet and is not looking at it. That is how detached he was. But there in the forest when he was doing bhajan, once when deer gave birth to a baby deer and it was drowning, and he saved that deer. And saving is okay. But then he got attached to that deer. Attachment is also okay. But that attachment became so much that it affected his bhajan sadhana. So the first mistake he did was he reduced his bhajan. And after he reduced, then reducing is also okay. When somebody comes and corrects you, or you also understand, galti ho gaya, then what you do? You improve. But what Bharat Maharaj did, he reduced, but after reducing his standard, he started reasoning that it is right. Reasoning mein gadbad ho gaya. He said, "Arey abhi to bechara hai, isko to madad karna hi chahiye. I have to give shelter to the deer. Those who say that this is Maya, they are wrong." So like that, he started reasoning that what? He started reasoning, justifying that my reduced standard is good. And then what happened? Then when you start reasoning, then you lose taste. Then what bhajan he was doing, that became ritual. Mechanical ऐसा. जैसे हम लोग करते हैं ना, हरे कृष्ण ritual जैसा हो गया. So first was reduce. Reduce के बाद reasoning or justification. Then ritual. And then if it's a ritual, अगर आप माला घुमा रहे हो, बस खत्म करना है 16 माला हरे कृष्ण, तो कितना दिन करेंगे ऐसे? Then what will happen? That is what happened to Bharat Maharaj. 4th hour, which is he became restless. He became restless in his bhajan. वो पूरा disturb रहते. And eventually what happened? He gave up. And then he gave up his body, remembering that deer. That deer. And then next life he became a deer. But then he remembered everything he had done in the previous life as a devotee, because he had come to the stage of bhava, which is preliminary stage of love of Krishna. And then in the next life he became Jada Bharat, and he absorbed himself in bhakti, and then he went back to Krishna. So, point I'm saying is how Krishna took care. How Krishna took care? Krishna gave him remembrance. Krishna ne unko smriti diya. And Krishna basically takes care. That is the point. That is the point I'm trying to say. Sometimes, like Bharat Maharaj forgot. We all can forget the purpose. Sometimes, let's say, brahmachari may be in saffron. And just like Bharat Maharaj got attached to deer, we may get attached to the saffron cloth. A cloth ultimately. This cloth is meant for, ultimately you are supposed to get attracted to Krishna. So Grihasthas may have their attachment. Brahmacharis also may have their attachment. Everybody has attachment. Ultimately, you have to remember Krishna only. Ultimately, you have to get attached to Krishna. So, externally, taking on something is not guaranteeing love of Krishna. So, if you are sincerely doing bhakti, and even if you fail, if you get distracted, Narad Muni is assuring, no problem. Most important is seek something higher and don't be satisfied with lower desires. Keep doing bhakti sincerely. And Narad Muni then finally says, in the next 2 verses, he says, okay, go for something higher. ठीक है, you may not become perfect, you may not be a pure devotee, but go for something higher. That is next verse, text number 18. Can you please repeat? तसेव हेतो प्रयतेत कोविदो न लभ्यते यद्भ्रमतामुपर्यदा तलभ्यते दुःखवदन्यतः सुखम् कालेन सर्वत्र गभीररमसा।
Persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for the purposeful life, which is not obtainable even by wandering from the topmost planet, Brahman, down to the lowest planet, Katha. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time. Just as in course of time, we obtain mysteries even though we do not desire.
So he is saying, go for something higher, seek something higher. Because happiness, distress तो इस दुनिया में मिलता ही रहता है. Narad Muni is saying, don't think I want happiness, because happiness you will get. Just like you get miseries, all of us get miseries. Do you ask for it? You don't ask. Anybody prays, Krishna मेरा कल accident हो जाए. Does anybody pray मेरा exam में fail हो जाऊं? But होता है ना ऐसा problems. You don't ask for it, we get misery. So Narad Muni is saying, you don't ask, you get happiness also. You focus on something higher. See, in this world, no, in our inner life, we live in 3 houses. अभी आपका body जो है ना, body, 3 जगह पे रहता है. अभी एक मंदिर में है. अभी आप घर पे जाओगे, घर में आपका body रहेगा. Some of you may go to work, office. So our physical body can be in one of the 3 places: office, home, temple. Right? Similarly, the inner self, अंदर जो आपका माइंड, इंटेलिजेंस, ईगो है, उसको हम एक सिंपल वर्ड देते हैं माइंड. आपका जो माइंड है वो भी 3 घर में रहता है. आपको पूछना है कि कौन से घर में है अभी, और हमेशा एक ही घर में. सी लाइक जस्ट आई टेल यू, जस्ट लाइक यू नो हैरी पॉटर, आप जानते हैं हैरी पॉटर बहुत फेमस हो गया था. Why it became very famous? Because that author, she captured the imagination of the world by giving 2 worlds. एक विजर्ड वर्ल्ड दे दिया और एक मगल्स या जो नॉर्मल जो हम लोग का दुनिया है. तो वो जो विजर्ड्स का वर्ल्ड है, वहां पे मैजिक, स्कूल ऑफ मैजिक, हॉगवर्ड्स स्कूल ऑफ मैजिक, वहां पे प्रिंसिपल है डम्बलडोर, फिर उनका ओलंपिक्स होता है, उनका कॉलेज है, उनका पुलिस स्टेशन है, उनका बैंक है, उनका शॉपिंग मॉल है, उनका सब कुछ है. वो प्लेटफॉर्म 9 3/4 में जाते हैं किंग स्टेशन में, एंड यू एंटर द वर्ल्ड. So there are 2 worlds, wizard world and the normal world. Similarly, this body, there is one world. How to sit. आपको बचपन में सिखाया ना पेरेंट्स ने, sit with grace. Don't dig your nose with your finger. ये सब सिखाते हैं ना. कोई इंडिया में और भी सिखाते हैं. कोई आएगा बड़ा आदमी तो अंकल बोलने का, नमस्ते अंकल, नमस्ते आंटी, सब सिखाया जाता है. How to conduct ourselves socially we are taught for this body. एक्सटर्नल वर्ल्ड में कहाँ रहना है, कैसे रहना है, हमको सिखाया गया है. पर आपका जो माइंड को कहाँ रहना है, कैसे रहना है, किसने सिखाया है? ये हमको नहीं सिखाया गया. नारद मुनि बोल रहे हैं, नारद मुनि टॉकिंग अबाउट द इनर वर्ल्ड. सो जस्ट लाइक योर बॉडी कैन बी इन ऑफिस, होम और टेम्पल, योर माइंड कैन बी इन वन ऑफ द 3 हाउसेस. द फर्स्ट प्लेस इज कॉल्ड सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन. प्लेजर, एंजॉय. पिज्जा खाना है गोविंदा में, या सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन करना. सो मेनी टाइम्स यू मे बी सिटिंग इन टेम्पल. सी आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द बॉडी. माइंड कहाँ है? दैट इज वन हाउस. सेकेंड हाउस वेयर आवर माइंड इज स्टेज इज स्ट्रगल. स्ट्रगल मतलब अभी ये मैं इधर हूं, इधर जाना है, मतलब यू नो लाइक अभी चपाती बनाना है. देयर इज अ गैप. So there is a struggle. You have to solve, basically solving problems. Rocket भेजना है space में. There is also struggle space. So many of us live in struggle space or sense gratification space in the inner world. अगर हम sense gratification में रहेंगे तो और नीचे जाएंगे, और struggle space में रहेंगे. Struggle is very tiring. ब्रेन टायर्ड हो जाता है स्ट्रगल करके, तो देन द स्ट्रगल के बाद वी गो टू सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन और सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन को और कायम रखने के लिए स्ट्रगल करते हैं यही दो दुनिया में हम रहते हैं. बट देयर इज अ थर्ड हाउस, जस्ट लाइक योर बॉडी कैन बी एट ऑफिस, कैन बी एट होम, but your body comes to temple, you feel different. Similarly, your mind can be in sense gratification space, there is only suffering there. Your mind can be in struggle space, there is only there is only challenges there, you know, it's struggling there. Sense gratification and struggle में रस नहीं है. So you need a third space and that is called surrender. सरेंडर मतलब, सरेंडर आपको लगता है कि स्लेव बन गया, नहीं. सरेंडर मतलब नो रेजिस्टेंस, अभी जो आने वाला है उसको मैं स्वीकार कर रहा हूं. सो जब मंदिर में आते हैं ना, वी हैव टू कम इन दैट मूड. आई एम सरेंडरिंग. इवन एट होम यू कैन बी सरेंडर. सरेंडर मतलब नॉट रेजिस्टिंग द इन्फ्लुएंस दैट द लॉर्ड इज गोइंग टू हैव ऑन. शेल्टर भी बोल सकते हैं. शेल्टर आपका आश्रय. लास्ट टाइम आई वाज स्पीकिंग अबाउट हार्ट स्पेस, होम स्पेस, बेसिकली वेयर यू फील सेफ, peace, sense of belonging. What is that space for you where you feel shelter in your inner world? वो ऐसा सेंटर which doesn't change, वो बदलता नहीं है, जहां पे आप एक हो गए हो with divinity, where you are at peace. So if you are not in that space, then you'll only be in sense gratification and struggle space. See, I'm not talking about the body, you know, some politicians or leaders can be involved in lot of action in the external world, but internally they're very peaceful. That means their mind is not in the sense gratification or struggle space, they are in the surrender space. तभी वो इतना पॉलिटिक्स करके भी शांत है. या तो बेशरम होगा या तो बेशरम होगा, पर वो ईमानदार है, तो फिर वो एक्चुअली वो he must be connected. See, I'll tell you example. You know, when I joined the temple, before joining the temple, I used to get up at 7:30 in the morning and 9 o'clock breakfast. So after 7:30 you get up, 1.5 hours you feel hungry. When I joined here, I used to get up at 3 o'clock and breakfast is at 9 o'clock. तो मंगलारती के समय भूख लगता था 5 o'clock and 5:30 जपा के लिए बैठते थे. 5:30 to 7 o'clock जपा. तो जपा में पूरा hunger is to so one day I sat for japa and the kitchen in charge was next to me. So I said, breakfast में क्या है? I started the japa. He got irritated and he just jokingly said, and my eyes was closed when he answered, he said samosa और jalebi. I said really, but he was lying. तो मैं खुश हो गया, आज समोसा गरम समोसा जलेबी रहेगा. तो वो जो 1.5 घंटा जपा, I chanted for 1.5 hours. The whole time I was thinking of jalebi and samosa. And I was externally chanting like this, Hare Krishna. So my body was in which space? Temple space, sacred space, heart space, surrender space. But my mind was in which space? Sense gratification. जपा के बाद एक गृहस्थ जो आते हैं मंदिर में, वो बोले, प्रभु जी आपको मैं पूरा जपा में देखा, कितना एब्जॉर्ब थे आप भगवान हरिनाम में, कृष्णा कितना अच्छा. मैं बोला हाँ, you never know what's in the mind. So what I'm saying is your body may be anywhere. You ask yourself, where is your mind? Which house it is in? Is it in sense gratification space or struggle space or shelter? Shelter मतलब वो जगह जहां पर आपको सेफ लगता है, आपको शांति लगता है और आपको लगता है कि I belong here. ये मेरा घर है, होम स्पेस. किसी को भागवतम है, किसी के लिए डीटीज है, किसी के लिए योगा हो सकता है. It doesn't have to be directly Krishna conscious. It can be quasi spiritual also, somewhere where you are rising to sattva guna and above sattva guna. Was important. Some of us externally may be in the temple area, but we may be in the struggle space. मंगलारती में पूरा प्लानिंग चल रहा है, मैनेजमेंट. कितने बार ऐसा होता है मंदिर में रह के हम लोग मैनेजमेंट कर रहे हैं एंड वी फॉरगेट, वेट, आई एम सपोज्ड टू बी इन टेंपल. इट कैन हैपन. और कोई मैनेजमेंट कर रहा है बाहर, देश का पॉलिटिक्स संभाल रहा है, और वो अंदर मंदिर में रह सकता है. इट्स हार्ट कैन बी इन टेंपल. इट्स पॉसिबल. Like once, we were chanting japa in the temple hall, brahmacharis. अरे सर्कल बना के हम लोग चैंट करते, तो जो बाहर से आदमी आता है उसको लगता है वाओ सेक्रेट स्पेस, बट ही डजंट नो व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन इनसाइड। तो हमारा ड्रामा फेस्टिवल चल रहा मंदिर में, एवरी ईयर वी यूज्ड टू हैव ड्रामा फेस्टिवल। ड्रामा में ना ब्रह्मचारी का भी एक ड्रामा था उस साल। तो एक ब्रह्मचारी बहुत नर्वस, ही डजंट लाइक टू एक्ट, but poor fellow, we forced him to act, and he had only one dialogue. He comes, he's a soldier, he comes with the spear. He says, "Who is Yamuna? The king has sent a palanquin for you." उसको बस यही बोलना था। वो हमेशा नर्वस, I can't do this, I can't. We forced him, he practiced for 4-5 hours. हो गया फाइनली, प्रैक्टिस हो गया, रात को सो गए क्योंकि नेक्स्ट डे वाज अ ड्रामा इवनिंग, बट मॉर्निंग मंगलारती इज देयर, जपा इज देयर। सो जपा, वी आर ऑल चैंटिंग जपा, महाराज इज आल्सो सिटिंग नेक्स्ट टू अस, हरे कृष्ण। अच्छा सब शांत है, सब जप कर रहे हैं, सडनली वो उसके प्रभु जी जो जपा कर रहे थे, हु इज यमुना, वेयर इज किंग हैज सेंट पैलन, एंड देन ही सेड दैट, ही रियलाइज्ड क्या हो गया, और सब उसको ऐसा देख रहे हैं, एंड इट वाज एवरीबॉडी लाफ। सो व्हाट ही वाज चैंटिंग, बट व्हाट, वेयर वाज ही? Struggle. So we are living in one of these two spaces generally. So see, it is okay, we have to struggle, we have to plan. मैं गलत नहीं बोल रहा, सेल्फ ग्रेटिफिकेशन भी चाहिए रहता है, ठीक है। What I'm saying is, sometime in a day we have to be in a shelter space. That is what Narad Muni is saying, एक तसेवा हेतु, एक हेतु होना चाहिए जो इसके ऊपर है, otherwise you will always feel miserable, because struggle is not permanent position. Struggle कितना भी करेंगे ना, आपको बाद में रिलीफ लगेगा। Struggle, law of gravity, throw this, it comes down. So struggle, if you are in struggle, you will come to sense gratification. But if you spend some time in shelter, then you will come to struggle, then again you'll get the strength to go back to shelter, because you got the taste of shelter. सत्वगुण का आपको एक मिल गया टेस्ट। तो बहुत जरूरी है कि हम शेल्टर और स्ट्रगल में फ्लक्चुएट करें, क्योंकि स्ट्रगल तो लाइफ के एंड तक रहेगा। भगवत गीता से प्राक शरीर विमोक्षणात्, टिल यू डाई देयर विल बी स्ट्रगल, यू कैन नॉट अवॉइड स्ट्रगल, एंड वी हैव टू बी स्ट्रगलिंग। उद्यमेन सिद्ध्यन्ति कार्याणि न मनोरथैः, नहि सिप्तस्य सिंहस्य प्रविशन्ति मुखे मृगा। प्रभुपाद से जंगल में शेर सो रहा है, उद्यमेन सिद्ध्यन्ति, उसको मेहनत करना पड़ेगा। कार्याणि न मनोरथे, बैठे बैठे माइंड में रहेंगे तो आपको नहीं मिलेगा खाना। नहीं सिप्तस्य सिंहस्य, सिंह सो रहा है, प्रविशन्ति मुखे मृगा, हिरण जाके बोलेगा नहीं मुंह खोलो शेर अंदर आऊंगा। सो द लायन हैज टू वर्क, सिमिलरली वी हैव टू स्ट्रगल, दैट इज ओके। स्ट्रगल तो जिंदगी का गेम का नाम है, बट व्हाई आर वी मिजरेबल? वो सुरेश वाडकर ने 1970s में गाया था वो गाना, सीने में जलन, आंखों में तूफान सा क्यों है, इस शहर में हर शख्स परेशान सा क्यों, किधर भी जाओ परेशान, ऑलवेज ऑन द स्मार्टफोन। रिलैक्स, बी इन द स्पेस वेयर यू आर कंप्लीटली एट पीस, जहां पे आपको टाइम इज नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट। ऐसा कोई स्पेस, ऐसा कोई टाइम है दिन में आपको लगता है कि अभी टाइम नहीं चाहिए, आप बोलोगे नेटफ्लिक्स में, नहीं, वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वर्ल्ड, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट सत्वगुण का कोई ऐसा कार्य है जहां पर आपको टाइम इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं, सो यू आर सेफ, दैट इज योर शेल्टर, and from there you can operate in struggle space. So we have to understand, any time you can ask this question, where am I right now? Externally, wherever you are, maybe in the train, abhi main kahan hu, and then just like when you're driving, you know how to change the gear, aapko malum hona chahiye abhi, oh sense gratification, okay, move up, shelter, Krishna please help me, Krishna, then immediately pray, remember Krishna, chant Hare Krishna, and you go up, spend some time there. और कुछ नहीं होता है ना, भगवान याद ही नहीं आते ना, then there is a simple method, just breathe, inhale and exhale to the count of 4, hold for 2 seconds, exhale, उससे आपका अंदर का कचरा निकल जाएगा। It is like going, just like for the body you go to washroom and release, similarly just sit wherever you are, inhale and exhale, and you see the clutter going out, and you come to Sattva Guna, and then spend some time consciously in that shelter space. Then we will understand Bhagavatam better. Because life has become very fast, and all inorganic and wrong things spread fast. जो अच्छी चीजें है ना वो स्लो और ऑर्गेनिकली होता है. कैंसर स्प्रेड वेरी फास्ट, बट सनसेट इज स्लो, सीजन्स चेंज इज स्लो. एक नेचुरल रिदम, हार्मनी, ग्रेस है नेचर. नेचर में एवरीथिंग हैपेंस एट अ राइट टाइम. बुढ़ापा भी टाइम पे आता है, एकदम एकदम उसमें ब्यूटी है, परफेक्शन है. हम लोग सब कुछ फास्ट चाहते हैं. रिलैक्स, उस फास्ट मतलब स्ट्रगल. So let us go cool. Let us spend some time in a space where you're not judging yourself, where you are at peace with yourself. Once I was chanting in temple hall. पूरा ऐसा, अरे बहुत साल पहले की स्टोरी है, बट वो मेरे लिए लाइफ टर्निंग पॉइंट था. आई वाज चैंटिंग लाइक दिस, हरे कृष्णा, यू नो, ऐसा इंटेंस. तो भगवान को बुलाते हैं ना, हरे कृष्ण, बहुत इंटेंस था. तो हम लोग एक बार यात्रा जा रहे थे मायापुर. तो मैं, शिक्षाष्टकम प्रभु और 2 ब्रह्मचारी थे, और एक बंगाली आगे, बंगाली माता जी और प्रभु जी इधर बैठे मायापुर. बाकी 4 लोग ब्रह्मचारी थे हम लोग. और सुबह उठ के अपना माला शुरू, हरे कृष्णा. और हम मंदिर में जब करते वैसे वो प्रभु जी उधर, हरे कृष्ण. वो प्रभु जी वाज चैंटिंग वेरी इंटेंसली. तो ये बंगाली कपल पूरा बिल्डर हो गए. वो चाय पी रहे थे अपना, उनको घूर घूर के देख रहे, क्या हो क्या रहा है. सी फॉर देम दे आर नॉट डिवोटीज, दे कुडंट अंडरस्टैंड दैट ही इज स्ट्रगलिंग. सो आफ्टर सम टाइम फाइनली ही आस्क्ड शिक्षाष्टकम प्रभु, महाराज इनको क्या हो गया. बोले भगवान को बुला रहे, अभी आएंगे भगवान. So it is crazy. Once I was standing in temple also like that. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. One Grihastha told me later, Prabhuji, what were you doing? I was struggling to listen to the holy name. It was, that chanting was not chanting, it was a more theatrical performance. वो ड्रामाबाजी था. तो प्रभु जी ने पूछा, आप कर क्या रहे थे? मैंने कहा, मैं भगवान को स्ट्रगल कर रहा था हरि नाम के लिए. तो उसने बोला, प्रभु जी, आई एम स्ट्रगलिंग होल वीक, एवरी डे इन ऑफिस, होम, बिजनेस. इतना स्ट्रगल है मेरे लाइफ में. और मैं जब भी स्ट्रगल करता हूँ, ये सोचता हूँ कि मंदिर जाऊंगा एक दिन संडे को और सुकून मिलेगा. इधर आके देखता हूँ आप भी स्ट्रगल कर रहे हो. तो आप में और मेरे में अंतर क्या है? तो दैट सेट मी थिंकिंग, हाँ यार, ये इतना स्ट्रगल क्या करने का है. लेट मी बी इन शेल्टर स्पेस. दैट मीन्स मैं जो हूँ कृष्णा, दिस इज हु आई एम. कृष्णा प्लीज एक्सेप्ट मी. बी पीसफुल. अपने आप को स्वीकार करो एंड नो दैट कृष्णा लव्स अस. वो स्पेस में ना जहाँ पे आप खुश हैं, पीसफुल हैं, और कोई गिला नहीं, कोई शिकवा नहीं, भगवान से खुश हैं, और आप यू आर एट पीस. और टाइम, घड़ी को फेंक दिया आपने. ऐसा कोई भी कार्य या स्थिति है, वो आप दिन में कुछ समय तो उस स्पेस में रहेगी. कुछ लोगों के लिए जर्नलिंग है, कुछ लोगों के लिए प्रार्थनाएं, कुछ लोगों के लिए भागवतम के श्लोक हैं, कुछ लोगों के लिए कीर्तन है, कुछ लोग अलग अलग चीजें हैं. आई नो सम डिवोटीज दे कैन सिट इन कीर्तन फॉर 5 hours, 6 hours. So find some space and then we will understand these verses, which we will take it up again next time. I'll stop here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We have time for just one comment or question. We'll stop.
Very big question. Like you said, sense gratification. So when we enjoy, when we try to gratify the person, who actually enjoy, body, mind, or soul? And another question is connected. If we are having peace, who actually feeling the peace? Body, mind, or soul? What is the difference?
So there is a simple way of answering this, and also technical. We'll go to the simple way first. See, the soul is unaffected, but the soul have identified with the mind, intelligence, and ego. So because of that, it is the mind, intelligence, and ego which is going through this samskaras. But because the soul have identified with it, we say the soul is suffering, soul is enjoying. Just like आप रास्ते में जा रहे हो, किसी की गाड़ी को किसी ट्रक ने आके ठोक दिया, आपको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. पर आपकी गाड़ी को ठोक दिया तो आपको कुछ होता है ना. पर एक्चुअली गाड़ी आपके बॉडी के पास जुड़ा हुआ नहीं है, बट यू फील पेन. दैट मीन्स बिकॉज यू आर आइडेंटिफाइड विद दैट कार. Similarly, the soul identifies with this body, mind, intelligence setup. And because of this, the soul suffers and enjoys. Although the soul is pure, the soul doesn't suffer and enjoy. That is the spiritual life. वही तो है ब्रह्मन. So हम बोलते हैं ना सोहम या अहम ब्रह्मास्मि. वो यही पॉइंट मेडिटेट करने के लिए कि this is not me, I am not enjoying, I am not suffering. Then what happens? Then you become detached from this attachment and aversion. आप separate कर पाते हो अपने. Otherwise, right now what has happened, na, our mind as merged, मतलब हम माइंड के बाद आइडेंटिटी मर्ज हो गया है. So जब हम ये प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, ध्यान, मेडिटेशन, योगा, चैंटिंग, वी आर सपोज टू सेपरेट अवरसेल्व्स फ्रॉम द माइंड. अरे ये तो मेरा मन बोल रहा है ऐसा आज. ये बोलने की जो क्षमता है वो आध्यात्मिक कार्यों से, प्रैक्टिस से आता है. So the soul, then that person never suffers. That is Bhagavad Gita 2.52 to 72 जो है, वो पूरा सेक्शन में वही है कि जो सेल्फ रियलाइज व्यक्ति कैसे रहता है. He doesn't identify with, because he knows the soul never suffers. Soul never enjoys. Soul is always equipoised. He is always absorbed in Brahman state of merging with the union with the Lord. But because we have identified with the material body, mind and senses, we are suffering. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much for your kind attention. We'll meet again next week. Hare Krishna. Granthra Srimad-Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.